Hello everyone, Astrologer Dawn here in my East Coast hat. Actually, I'm not in the East Coast though, I'm in the Southwest. And looking a little bit of a worse for wear, having just taken the dog for a walk and practicing social distancing and all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you today in terms of things I talk to my coaching clients around, and especially when we're in situations such as now, where many of you will be working from home and you also have children who are at home. Now, I'm assuming that the universe had me homeschool my children and start a business and do both so that this point would come when I would be able to help other people. First things first, stop panicking. So what, your kids are at home and you have to work? You'll figure it out. You're not going to figure it out on day one. When you become a homeschooler, it takes about a year from the minute that you start doing it for you to get even comfortable with doing it. And to stop saying to people, stop making excuses and explaining why you're doing it to other people. That takes a whole year. We don't have a year for you guys to learn that. So you're gonna have to get comfortable pretty quickly with the idea that you're gonna have to find a different way to work and a different balance, because you're gonna need to spend time with them, depending upon their ages, and also you're gonna need to do some work if that is what you have, signed up to do with your company, to come home and work. The great thing about working from home and having your kids, eventually when you get into a routine, is you can do a load of laundry in between doing emails or making a phone call or doing something like that. You can stop and have lunch, with your kids. You can get your kids involved in things on an everyday basis that maybe you haven't. This is a great time for them to be doing more chores, depending upon their age, of course. But even the smaller ones can still learn to pick up their toys and everything. It takes time to do this, depending upon the age of your children. This will give you an opportunity to help them learn in a different way. So here's a good example. Zachary, who is now 25 years old. Is he 25? No, he's 24. And has his own business and is a successful entrepreneur. When he was about 5, he had lined up all of his Tiggers. He had about 8 of them. And we were just looking at them. And I said, I wonder how tall they are. And he said, oh, can I have a tape measure? So he started measuring his Tiggers. He then went around the house and started measuring things and started asking me on the tape measure, what's the difference between millimeters and centimeters, and what's this inch thing, and what's a foot? And that went on for quite a long time, actually. And I was working in between that. I was printing charts and setting myself up for appointments later in the day. And then at one point, he got fed up with that and said, what other kind of measurements? And I said, well, I'm making chili later. I could measure the ingredients if you like. And then again, so he learned something. I think he was 5, 6, something like that. So when you think you're just doing ordinary things, your children are actually learning stuff. And learning is one thing that goes into another thing. They don't have to be sitting memorizing, information in books. Have them go on YouTube. If they're learning something in school, maybe some visual learning will help with it. So don't count out that your kids are learning regardless of whether they're at school or not. This can be a great time to talk to them, depending upon their age again, about money. What's it gonna cost to stay at home? Have them help you figure that kind of stuff out. What is it that they need to be paid for their chores if you're going to do that? Just remember to take deep breaths. It doesn't happen overnight. This is a situation you have never encountered, and you'll probably never encounter again. And it just shows that you have to be gentle on yourself. Take time. You're not going to do everything perfectly. You're not going to be able to work 100% of the time and take care of the kids 100% of the time and entertain the kids 100% of the time. In fact, this is a good opportunity for the kids to learn how to entertain themselves. Another fear, they're going to spend all their time watching YouTube, being on Facebook, Instagram, computers, blah, blah, blah. Of course they are. If they've been at school, For every year your child has been at school, it takes a week to deschool them. You probably don't have long enough to deschool them. So therefore, they're going to enjoy those kind of things because they're usually restricted. When you homeschool, kids don't tend to end up doing that. Mine never spent a ton of time on any of those things because they were always allowed to do it whenever they wanted. But school kids, that's not what they're used to. So let them do it. You'll be amazed what the kids will learn when they watch shows that you wouldn't even imagine are teaching them anything. That show that used to be about, not hoarding. Oh yeah, hoarding. That was one of the shows my kids watched extensively. One of them tends to be extremely tidy now and likes to have everything in the right place. It didn't affect the other one so much. The one where you buy garages. Oh my God, they watch every season of that. And so they learn about money and about things, what things were worth. So kids are learning. And if you don't believe it, so I have a 24-year-old now, and I have a 20-year-old. They went to school periodically when I needed babysitting, so maybe 3 months here, 4 months there, but not for very long. And by the time Zachary was 13, we were done. Zachary, 24 years old, probably makes more money than I do, is a professional poker player, does not have a GED or a high school diploma. You don't need it, especially you don't need it if you're self-employed. The other one, my youngest, he goes to college. Also, no GED, no high school diploma, don't need it. And actually, if you homeschool your kids, you can actually write one up yourself in the state of Arizona. I don't know what other states' laws are. Check it out for your own states, but Arizona has a fabulous way of being able to, homeschool. The only thing you have to do is to send the superintendent an affidavit by the time your child is 8 years old, just to let them know you're homeschooling, but there's no testing or anything like that. So my youngest, college. Nothing prevented him from getting into college. They didn't need transcripts, a high school diploma, or anything like that. And he's doing some things that he loves, and he's pursuing his passion of basketball. So he's playing that still every day. Found an outside court, thank goodness, with what's going on here, so that he can keep up his training. So for those of you who think that 2 weeks, 1 month, the rest of the school year, oh my God, my children are never going to learn anything if they don't learn whatever it is they're supposed to be learning at this age, get a grip. That is not the truth of the matter. I'm not the only, and by the way, I didn't homeschool my children. My children were unschooled, which means they had no lessons. They chose what to do when they wanted to do it, and we facilitated it. That's how they learn. And when they needed to learn something, they learned it. Children will do that. Just like they learn to walk, they learn to feed themselves, they learn to go to the bathroom, in the toilet. They learn all those things because they want to learn. So allow them to learn some things. Don't keep fixing things for them. They want to know how something works at home. They want to know how to do something and it's not a safety issue. Ask them to do it. Say, why don't you do that? Go see how, you go do that. Be relaxed. This isn't the end of the world. Life will return, I can't say to normal, but life will return to where we are working and children are going to school if you want them to. That will happen. We are going to change an awful lot. I will talk about that in my next video. But this is really for those of you who are at home with your kids. Relax, relax, relax. There's nothing that they are going to miss that is going to stop them having excellent lives as they move forward. Keep yourself well, keep yourself healthy, stay inside if you can and if you need to, and sending you lots of healthy energy and good wishes for you. And I'll talk to you soon. Namaste.